YouTube friends and family, to today's crafting edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So I hope you all had a chance to watch my video, if everything goes up or as I plan, that was up yesterday. It's uploading now, so it's actually today, but for you it'll be yesterday. Did I confuse you enough? And guys, I'm just asking your opinion. If you prefer not to comment on whether or not you would order either a canning mat, a table runner, I didn't mention it, but I can also do placemats. Anyway, if you prefer not to do comment and I don't get a lot of response, I may do a poll because that becomes anonymous. Probably should have done that anyway, but you know, I never do things simply. So today, y'all, excuse my out of breathness. Yes, I still have episodes of that, but I rarely need my oxygen. I'm wearing my Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo shirt, and I actually have two of them. They're not the same color, but they're the same shirt. Must have liked it so much I needed it twice. I have a lot of fall and Halloween shirts, so you'll see some repeats, but I enjoy wearing them. So what are we going to do today? Today we are finally going to work on a craft. And I'm going to share with you the supplies that you're going to need for part one. This is part one of two. And I'm actually going to show you how I'm going to do it. Now, have I ever made this before? Why, no. No, I have not. Do I think I can make it? I absolutely do. So what is this and what supplies do you need? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned to find out. All right, y'all, I also wanted to say one more quick thing before we get started. A couple of you have asked me privately, so I'm sure there's other people going, why I have dark circles? Y'all, I've always had dark circles. I think for me, it's part of my anemia. I've had chronic anemia my entire life without any real explanation as to why. I mean, since I was a little kid. So I think a lot of it too is my age, you know, because I got bags and so they create shadows. But at any rate, that's not what this video is about. So what are you going to need to make a really cool witch's hat? Well, I'm going to just share with you for part one, and I'll just talk a little bit about part two. So you're going to need a craft foam cone. Now, I got this from Dollar Tree, so I paid $1.25 for this little baby, and it's made with recycled plastic. So depending on the size of your cone will depend on how big you want to make your witch's hat. I've also seen people use at Dollar Tree, they have these like kitty cones, like, you know, the orange cones that they use for construction, just the cones. I've seen people use those as well. This I just thought would be easier to use. Now, I did get a dent in it, but I'm going to show you how we're going to fix it. Now, for the brim of the hat, you can use cardboard. I have, and that's got a, you know, a flaw in the wood, but it's fine. I have a wood rind. That is what I'm going to use because I think it will make it sturdier. In addition, you will need some heavy-duty foil. Heavy-duty foil. Some Mod Podge, and this is the matte. I would not use the gloss just because it may make it a little bit harder to paint when we get to that point. You're going to need a glue gun or some type of glue to stick this to the wood round. So wood glue, E6000. I'm actually going to try also a glue that I got from Dollar Tree that's supposed to be like E6000, but I couldn't lay my hands on it right away. So I must have put it out in the garage with the rest of my craft supplies. And you're going to need a roll of paper towels. Now I know, and a bowl that you can either wash out or throw away. And this is a glass bowl. And you will need water, if I didn't say that, water. So that is for part one. So we are going to foil and paper mache this into a hat. Yes, we are. And even though it's flat on the top, we're going to fix that with the tin foil. Then for part two, you're going to need some stems, which you can buy artificial flowers. and leaves and things like that. You can totally buy that at the Dollar Tree. You can buy them at Walmart. You can get them on sale at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And you could do this like more creepy. I'm going to use black and purple and some blue creepy flowers because that's what I want. But you could totally make this more fall themed and use, you know, fall leaves, even the lighted strands that are battery operated. There's so many options that you can do with this. So you will need some fall or Halloween type, I'm going to call them stems. You're going to need some sort of foam to hold it on. You may want some ribbon, and you also may want like a little spider ring that you can get from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of like 6, or you can get just the plain spiders, either way. So let's get started. We're going to begin by putting a little full on, and I'll move you down here. When you try to hot glue foam, it just disintegrates, so I'm not going to do that. I've also kind of noticed I want my cone a little bit fatter, so I'm going to put more foil and more paper towel on the cone so that it looks balanced. But I don't want to forget that there's going to be a lot of florals on this, so it may take up a lot of the brim, so to speak. So, you know, you can make some adjustments by how thick or thin you make it if your cone isn't the desired size, or your cardboard round or your wood round is a little bit too big. So stay tuned. Are you ready to get started? I hope so. So here we go. Pull this back a little bit. So I have my very well loved mat that's covered in glue, paint, a variety of things. So I did go ahead and start. I took a piece of foil because I did not want to try to glue these two things together with the foam or plastic on the one side. So let me kind of go ahead here. And guys, it doesn't matter if you use shiny side out or dull side out. It really does not matter. So you just want to cover this, and I'm first going to cover it smooth because I think it will be easier to glue the two together. I'll get my thoughts together here, y'all. And like for, you can do these in really small strips. Now, I don't plan to paper mache the back of this, so I'm going to be cutting all of that off, but not right now. So let me get this base covered at least with one coat. And I'm going to show you the glue. I guess I can't talk and work at the same time. Y'all don't worry if there's wrinkles. We want this, I want this to look old and aged and not more like a fabric, so that, you know, it's just really creepy looking is what I'm going for. This is a little bit kind of gobbled up here. I'm gonna straighten it out a bit. Okay, that's better. So here is the glue that I was sharing with you. It is the original super glue, Fix All Flexible Bond, $1.25 at Dollar Tree, bonds and repairs, waterproof, permanent, works on leather, fabric, paper, ceramic, metal, wood, plastic, and more. So the only thing I can I've never used this. Okay, let me say that. And it's one of the ones you gotta punch a hole in the lid with, punch a hole in it with the lid. And that's gonna goop out. I have watched enough videos to know you do not want to mix both your, come on with it, both your hot glue and your permy glue. You want the hot glue for an immediate stick and this glue for a more permanent fix. So I did not mix the two. Let's go ahead and center that. Wow, that's a pretty immediate. So you probably should measure where you want to put it. It's okay. It's pretty close, y'all. Let's put the lid back on this. And there you have it. It's pretty immediate bond. I can't even pick it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue with small sheets going around the cone. And again, I'm not concerned about it being perfectly smooth, not even perfectly even. I do want to bulk it up a little bit. So I'm going to just keep adding and squeezing. Yeah, that's pretty well stuck. I'm impressed with the combo of the glue. All right, I'm going to keep adding, and what I'm going to do at the bottom down here, besides put my arm in the super glue, I'm going to make this look a little bit wrinkled. So I'm going to put some pieces that are a little bit wrinkledy. I'm going to continue to fatten up the cone and even it up. It's sitting just a tad crooked. Pardon me. And then we're going to make a hook on the hat, which you can do that with wire and just put the tinfoil over it. I'm going to try to do it without the wire. So I will bring you back when I've built this up a little. Right, y'all, I'm not done, but I wanted to show you sort of an intermediate look. So, little tip, go ahead and use your glue gun to help secure pieces down on the flat part and wrap it up against the cone so it's going to be more cohesive. Now, I've started with the tip, but again, I think my cone is just a little bit small in diameter, so I'm going to build it up a little bit at the bottom and still bring it to a point and maybe make this a little more pronounced. But you see how I've wrinkled the base. I'm really happy with that, but I'm telling you, if you just glue down the edges, it's going to be so much easier to work with when we get to the point where we're going to start using the Mod Podge and paper towels to go on top of all of this and then harden into something dry. Now, the paper towel Mod Podge deal, it could beef this up. The thing is, it has to dry. So if this is super thick and this is super thin, it's going to take forever to dry. So any of the shaping I'm going to do, my recommendation to you, even though I'm making this for the first time, just thinking it through, and I've watched a couple people make these. This is not my original idea, although I couldn't find the videos to actually link them. I think the creator that's Something After Dark, or Up All Night, not After Dark, Up All Night DIY, I think she made one. She's the lady that does a lot of clay type things. And another little tip, y'all, you probably need your finger protectors because this glue on tin foil, whoo, it gets hot. It gets real hot. So let me work a little bit more, but you see I can even pick it up by the cone, although by this would be better. All right, guys, stay tuned. All right, y'all, I am happy with my hat. I think it looks very proportionate. I really like it. Even though it's a little closer, the cone on one side than the other, I can make this a little fuller with the flowers on one side. So I think it's absolutely fine. So what I've done here, it's just got my finger in glue, is I took some quality paper towels. These are Bounty Select-A-Size. I don't know how it would work with thin paper towels. Might work just fine. I would think you just need more. And what I did was I'm tearing it into strips, about 3 strips per piece. So that would be about 6 pieces per full strip. And it doesn't matter if they're even or uneven. I took my Mod Podge and mixed it half and half with water so it's nice and thin. And then I don't care so much if it gets on my hands, but I'm going to take off my ring because I know myself and it'll poke through the gloves. And some of you have asked, if you're not married, why do you wear that ring? And I've shared it many times, but the ruby was one of my mom's favorite stones. And my dad and I picked this out one year for her for Christmas, way back when, probably in around 1980. And then when my mom quit wearing it as a ring, she had really bad arthritis. She passed it on to me, and I love wearing it. All right, guys, so this is a little bit messy, but what you want to do is dip your paper towel. You want to wring it out. You don't want it sopping wet. And then, don't you love the hook here? I'm going to start there. You want to put this nice wet paper towel, which is not wet enough. I don't know my own strength in wringing it out. It needs to be wet enough that it will stick. And I'm going to start at the top, y'all, because I just feel like it's going to drip, which it already has. And with it dripping, we can sop all that up with doing the base. So one of the people that I watched did this all with paper towels and then went back, and it does work if your paper towel's a little bit wetter. I got a little stingy on the glue. She went back with like a gauze and covered the whole thing, which gave it kind of a unique texture, but not one that I would consider witch's hat. So I am going to try to stick with this. But that's another idea for you if you have a lot of the gauze on hand, you know, like medical gauze or cheesecloth. You could use that too. So let me just do a few more. And again, guys, you tear the paper towel, it doesn't matter. Paper towel is not in a straight line, doesn't matter. It's really quite easy to do. Now, will it need 2 layers? I kind of think it might, but I don't know yet. Don't y'all love that I do crafts that I've never done before, and then I'm like, well, we'll just see how it comes out. But you know what, guys? I'm a person that learns by watching and then just doing it. That works the best for me. And also, if it's not wanting to stick down, you can add a little bit more Mod Podge on your finger. Yeah, I think I'm being too dry with the Mod Podge. And the idea is not to have a lot of real straight lines. So let me flip this because I'm getting more on the front than the back. It's really, really, really fun, guys. It doesn't take much to amuse me. Did y'all do paper mache projects when you were in school? We did. I always enjoyed art class, even though I don't particularly have art talent. I have craft talent. And I like making things. I like taking a material and turning it into something completely different. To me, that is so much fun, and that's why I enjoy sewing. And oh, by the way, y'all, my video aired, and I want to thank each and every one of you. You all got on it now. You knew the assignment, and you held yourself to it. A lot of you have responded that you would be interested in either a canning mat or a table runner, and lots of interest in the heat resistance to the mat. And even someone suggested bowl cozies. Now, I have made those before. In fact, I think I have a video on it. And someone said, I bought one like at a craft fair or whatsoever. Please forgive me if I'm not quoting exactly right. And I only bought one, and I wish I'd have bought more. Well, I feel your pain because I only kept one and I gifted all the rest. And sometimes I want a bowl cozy and I don't have one, because I have stoneware and it's very, very hot. Yeah, I think working around and around is going to be a good way to do it. So let me keep going here. I'll bring you back when I have the first layer done, and we can decide whether a second layer is needed. And did we make a nice bridge between the cone and the base? Boy, there's sure a lot of glue on the bottom here, but that's okay. It can be used up, no problem. All right, guys, I don't want to glue up my phone, so let me dry off my hand here. I'll try to use my pinky. I'll be back. All right, y'all, I'm really excited about how this has turned out so far. So here we go. Very, very cute witch's hat. It is very, very wet. It will probably take 24 hours to dry. So tomorrow I will be working on part 2 of the video. And yeah, we'll get this painted and decorated. I'm really excited. Around the edges, let me see if I can show you. I tried to go as evenly as I could, but the fact that the foil is wrapped over, I want to cut that away, but I need to wait until it's dry. And then I also think it would be really neat to put a trim of sorts around the edge. I've got a ton of different materials I could use. I have some rickrack, etc. So I'll figure out something that we can use, you know, just to kind of pretty up the edges. But how do you like that crookedy witch's hat? I think it's so cool. And guys, use plenty of Mod Podge. That's the other thing I would recommend. I mean, you don't want it so wet that it'll never dry, but it needs to be wet enough that you can shape it and form it. So that's my advice. And I will see you for part 2. Not sure what day. Depends on the dry time, but I'm hoping it's 50% humidity and 76 degrees in the house right now. So I'm hoping it will dry because it's warm and not too humid in here. All right, guys, if you'd do me a big favor, smash that like button. Leave me a comment below. Are you going to attempt to make this? Do you have a suggestion? I'm sorry, distracted. Hey, DT. Do you have a suggestion for a way to make this easier or different, or material that you could use? I'd love to hear that. All right, guys, until I see you again, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.